Hey, what's up, everyone? Bruce Moore here from the Brutally Delicious podcast. Before we get started in today's episode, I want to introduce you to our friends over at Got Stubs. Got Stubs is a Chicago-founded ticket marketplace that covers millions of live and digital concerts, theater, and sports across the nation. They sell experiences with a focus on local Illinois sports, theater, and concerts, all while giving a portion of the proceeds back to the Chicago-based not-for-profit partner, Fight to Feed. I can't think of a better way to get your tickets than by heading over to gotstubs.com. You can follow the link below. And not only will you get your tickets, but you'll also be partnered with Fight to Feed.
It's Hasard from Les Chants du Hasard, symphonic, orchestral, dark opera, black metal, or whatever you want to call it.
Where are you at?
I'm fine, yeah, and you?
Where are you at? Are you in? You're in Europe?
I'm home. I'm at home. I mean, it's Corona, so we have to stay home.
Yeah. How bad? So, what country are you from?
From France.
Oh, wow. So, is it really bad over there?
Yeah, it's quite bad, and it's not getting better.
Because things are starting to open up here a little bit, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not at this point here. We have to wait maybe until summer.
Ugh, that's terrible. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you handling it, especially with music? Are you able to? I mean, obviously, you can use it to write and fuel your writing.
It's a little chaotic at the moment. It's the contrary for me. I don't have much time because of the Corona.
Right.
So I have to because of the work, because of the family and all. So I have to take 1 hour when I can take it. But I'm used to have a routine for working on music. But right now I don't have any routine anymore. And it's quite hard. But it will get better.
Do you find that the stuff that we're going through, not only just the virus, but all this political and all this other turmoil, adds to your music because your music is so dark anyway?
No, actually, it's something that when I do my music, I'm kind of in a bubble. So there's nothing much that influences, I mean, from the outside world, like what you say, political or society, doesn't have much influence.
Okay, so let's start about let's chat about the record then, or the project. What was the catalyst to put all this? What some might even say like elements that don't really fit together, like the opera and the classical and the metal and the darkness. How did you come up with that idea to put it all together?
It felt quite natural to me. So because I'm classically trained and I've always been interested in dark music, and in what I was looking for in the classical, it was always the dark side of the classical music. So it felt natural to me to take classical music and to drive it in a direction where it's getting darker and darker. And of course, I spent a lot of time in the metal scene. So it felt natural to me to mix the two of them. And yeah, I was quite surprised afterwards to see that there was a lot of questions about is it metal, why it's not metal, and so on. Because when I was doing it, I wasn't asking myself any of those questions. I mean, it just flew like this, and there was no question what it is or what it should be.
Yeah, I mean, because it definitely is different from a lot of stuff that I've heard on the scene or seen on the scene. And it's also, to be honest, not easy listening. I mean, you can't like put that on and I don't think drive around in the car. I think that's made for sitting at the house, a glass of wine, and really taking it in. Would you say?
Yeah, but it's music you have to listen to. I think like most classical music, like it's not not something you drive around in a car. You put in a car with friends when you're driving. It's the same.
There's so much going on.
Because there's many layers, many things to listen to, and so yeah.
Is this mainly a solo project? Are you doing all of it?
Yeah, it is a solo project. I'm doing all the music, and more I'm relying for the voices on talented singers. So the goal is that I do less and less singing, and that I rely more and more on a real singer, I would say. Okay. Like people who are better than me at singing. Right. So right now I have two soprano, a baritone, a tenor. So yeah, we'll see for the next one what I'll need.
Okay. Are you
choir would be great, but
yeah. Is there a message or something you want the listener to take away after hearing one of your records? And I'm sorry, I'm not French, so I'm not going to try and butcher it. Can you give me that name of the project? I don't want to butcher it.
Les Chants du Hasard.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that. So.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. But is there something you want your fans to walk away with?
No, there's no real message. I do the music. The goal is that really to put the listener in a bubble. As you said, it's not music you put on for driving or for as a background music. It's really meant like to be listened to when you're at home. You feel comfortable. You listen to the record, and then the goal is to have the listener to imagine what's going on,
right,
and the underlying story.
What is
That's
this?
my goal, actually.
So since it's a solo thing and you're getting people to help you out here, what's the chances of getting this live, or is there any kind of goal to put this in a live setting once it all clears up?
No, at the moment there's no chance to have this project live because the main problem is it's financial. So it costs a lot to have an orchestra. So, and at the moment I cannot afford this.
Sure.
If the project gets more following and so on and develops, I'll be able to see to try it. But at the moment, I don't see any path to playing live.
Because I know listening to it and just sitting there, it's like I could picture it as a Broadway kind of thing or like a big production, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I would like to, but
I know it's costly, and I know the scene we're in is not. The metal scene or this weird scene is not going to be supportive, or not yet anyway, of that sort of thing. But I could definitely, like, when I'm listening to it, I was envisioning a whole like Broadway kind of production, with opera singers and orchestra.
The problem is as well is that for this music I would need a large orchestra, a big orchestra, because I need a lot of sections, a lot of instruments. So I cannot get away with 6 or 10 musicians. It's really like I would need a very big orchestra, and at the moment it's not possible.
Okay, so how do you go about writing this stuff? Because it is really, really dark, I guess is the word for it. Are you sitting down with an idea, or are you sitting down with the music and then going from there? Or are you trying to exorcise some demons, or is it cathartic? Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Actually, it's I spend a lot of time before writing the music thinking about it. So that means I spend a lot of time wandering in the forest or everywhere actually, and I thinking about it and building like the structure of the album, so that what I really know before I begin what I want to put in it, and so I have this main idea that I try to always stick to really not to get away in another direction. If I find something cool, really stick to the main idea once I found it, and then then it's a lot of work on first on the piano to put a rough sketch of the songs, and then afterwards the orchestration on paper and computer.
Gotcha. And is it hard not to? I know you said you try and focus, but is it hard not to stray? Like, once you start working, do you all of a sudden start thinking of a million ideas, or you just have to stay focused and flush them out?
Yeah, it's hard to stay focused, but right now it's not the first album I did. I worked with some other projects, so I have a little experience in writing music. And also, I do something that really helps is to have a routine. So it's really every day at the same time. For me, it's from 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. I do music. And so then it's much easier this way, because every time at 10 p.m. when I start making music, at once I found the mood I was in the day before, and I can start really from where I stopped the day before.
Right.
So it's really having this routine really helps.
Do you find that when you get in, do you find that when you get in there sometimes at 10 o'clock you're just staring into space and can't get motivated, or usually pretty disciplined?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard, but really with this routine, I don't ask myself anymore if okay, it's time. It's just it's time. It's time for me to do music. Like, it's time to eat. It's time to go to sleep. Right. It's a habit, and it's really like what I found works the best.
Yeah, I mean, discipline. I wish I could be disciplined in a lot of that stuff, but it makes sense that this is your time carved out. This is what I'm going to do. So just like going to the gym or just whatever it is.
Yeah. Once you're used to doing something, you don't ask yourself anymore if it's that you have to get motivated. Actually, I began doing this after reading an article about writers and about their habit and how they were writing. And the conclusion of the article was that they all had a very different schedule, but the common point was that they always have the same routine. Every day was the same. At fixed hours they were writing, then they were stopping, and it was every day the same, and that's how it worked the best. So I tried it for myself, and it's true that
that's interesting.
It works.
Good for you. What's next? Are you writing? I guess you're always writing material then if you're doing that stuff. So are you working on another release, or you kind of just have ideas in your head? Where are you at right now?
No, at the moment I'm not. I'm not working on Les Chants du Hasard. So I'm working right now on another project, but nothing really specific, nothing planned yet. No release planned. So just like exploratory work.
Right.
So.
Okay, so a couple more. I know you said you're a metalhead as well. Who are you drawing influence from in the metal world? Is it more like the black metal stuff, the darker things?
I would say that I draw a lot of influence from black metal, but now I've been like quite a couple of years in the metal scene, so I don't think I could not point like this band or this band is a real influence. It's like, because I had time to digest my influences and to do my stuff. So I would say I was a lot. I was influenced by the black metal scene in general, and the symphonic black metal, because I thought it's an interesting starting point, but I think we can go even further, and that's what I tried to do actually. That was the starting point, to do black metal, but without the metal actually, to keep the symphonic black metal, but remove the metal part and you only keep the orchestra. And so that was the starting point. At this moment, I'm trying to broaden my to stray away a little from this idea. So it means not just black metal, not just harsh vocals, but more in direction of opera, because I think there's a lot to do in this direction, and I find it very interesting.
It's interesting how they sort of meld the opera and the metal. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm old school or something, but I never really took the time to think how they could meld together or work together, but they really do. And especially in, your project, they work fabulously.
Mm. Yeah, but I mean, it's, I'm not the first to think about this. Well, if you think like opera metal is already a style in itself, there were some bands who claim to do this style of music. So it's an idea that's been in the scene for quite some years. And I'm trying to push it further and further, and until I don't know until where actually, but to push it further and to see what I can get from this.
So is that the goal then, just to see how far we can push it, or do you think you're going to reach a limit where it's going to you can't go any further without it being too avant-garde or too unlistenable? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand completely the question. It's hard to say because I would like, actually, it's already too much avant-garde for a lot of metalheads, what I'm doing.
Sure.
So I would say, I had some ideas to push it really in a direction where it's harsher, where it's more dissonant, so that to really have something much darker than it is right now, with the introduction of dissonance, not tonal music, but atonal. But first, it's hard to do, so
right.
It's much harder to compose such music. And I'm not sure there's enough people ready for me to push even further in this direction. So right now I'm gathering the opinions of people listening to this, thinking about where I want to put this project, where I want to, in which direction I want to go. But there's no direction planned actually for the follow-up.
Okay, so one more. How much, you just mentioned it, but how much do you let what people think and those reviews and that input from people affect what you're doing?
I find it interesting to read, not like to put a cross on this guy liked what I did, this guy didn't like, but because how people perceive my work, meaning that what words they use to qualify the music. And I find this interesting because sometimes it gives me new ideas and directions. Actually, what they say gives me give me ideas for new direction or new things to try. Mm-hmm. So I find it interesting to read reviews about my music.
Okay.
Especially when it's not common, and a lot of people have problems like labeling it properly or finding the right label for this music. So I find it. I try to read the reviews.
I think art is subjective anyway, though, right? I mean, not just music, any kind of art, Picasso or whatever. He wasn't really worried about whether people get it. He was just making it for himself and then hoping you connect with somebody. That's the goal anyway, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, if I didn't release the music, I cannot say that I don't care about what people think, since I released my music. When you release it, of course you care about what the people think.
But still, it's still from you, and not everyone's going to get it, and that's okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's two different things. It's like when I do the music, I do it for me, and then I try to do what I really like and what there's this idea that I want to put on the record. But then there's the second thing, which is the release. And then it's about how about the outside world,
right?
What the outside world thinks about your music, and it's two different things, and it's two different phases of the work, and I think it's interesting to have both.
Sure.
I mean, otherwise I wouldn't really. I would just put it in a drawer and begin on the next one.
Yeah. No, I get
it. But it's very motivating as well to see people who like your music.
Right.
And people who want to get in touch and everything. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Just
perfect.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate you taking the time, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Have a nice day.
Yeah, stay safe over there. Be well.
Bye.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.